Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, How You Can Adapt to Stress in a Remote World. Before we get started, I would like to take a few moments to go over some housekeeping items. My name is Pamela and I will be your webinar moderator for today. We want to make sure that today's presentation is extremely valuable for you. So we ask that you submit all questions by clicking on the question button in the control panel and typing your question. The Greater Cleveland Partnership, as the largest chamber of commerce in the country, represents the collective voice of over 12,000 member companies. If your company is not a member and you would like information about joining, let us know. Or if your company is a member and you would like more information about sponsoring a webinar like this or advertising with us, please reach out to us and we can talk about how we can help your business. Right now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Casen DeMaria of the Drugless Doctors. Dr. Casen DeMaria gets to live out her dream job every day as a chiropractor. Since joining the Drugless Doctors, Dr. Casen actively pursues new ways to reach and educate the community about the benefits of chiropractic, drugless care, and breast thermography, which includes successful partnerships with local businesses and women's organizations. The insights she continues to learn have been subjects of her peer-reviewed journals. Today, she'll be discussing how to improve your health naturally during COVID-19. I will now turn the presentation over to you, Dr. DeMaria.
Thank you so much, Pamela. And thank you everyone for joining me today. I know if you are joining us live or you're watching the recording, something sparked your interest today. And I know especially right now with everything going on, there are things that you can do to decrease stress naturally, especially in this remote world. So I know I'm going to be taking questions at the end, but to encourage all of you right now, I want you to, if you're taking notes, if you're just creating different things in your own mind of things that could be impacting your life and causing stress, I want you to write that down, because today my goal is to talk to you about strategies. Now, I can't take away your stress, and especially right now, things are changing so rapidly. But what I do want to do with you in this short time that we're here together is to give you some easy tips of things that you can do naturally for you and your family. So I want to talk a little bit about who I am and what we do. So this is myself in the middle, and then my husband, Dr. Anthony, on the left, and then Dr. Bob, who's my father-in-law on the right. And we also have Dr. Amy, and we all work together as the Drugless Doctors to improve people's health naturally. And why I'm here today with you is because I want to help you without drugs and without surgery to best adapt to stress. So our mission is we help people to restore and maintain their health naturally without drugs and surgery. So I love this picture. So how many of you right now, you might be doing this as you're watching me, you might be in this forward posture. A raise of hands out there, a couple people. What's really interesting and what we're going to talk about today is I have people right now that they're working remotely, and I was just working with a woman earlier today, and I was talking to her about her ergonomics and her spinal health, because as a chiropractor, I help people to improve their life naturally with working with the brain and the nervous system. But did you know that your posture throughout the day directly impacts your function? Now look at this picture here. This person, they're really leaning forward, their head's in a forward position. I can only imagine other challenges going on. They could have headaches because of this, numbness and tingling in their body, some lower back challenges. And going back to the story of this woman, I asked her about her setup, and she said, Dr. Casen, I have all these books and they're all stacked up, and I'm working from home and I'm working from my dining room table, and I have my bar stool there and I'm hunched forward, and she's having lower energy throughout the day and lots of different things. And I can only imagine this is probably some of you at home. So we want to talk about posture today, because your posture will directly cause or take away stress in your body. So right now, take a little inventory. Do you have a foggy brain? Are you having difficulty throughout the day with your memory, focus? A lot of people right now with changing times, you may have a lack of motivation. I know if you're a business owner or you're on a team and you're watching me right now, there are a lot of different things that could be going on and that are coming across your plate. I love this picture up here on the left. You have someone with fully charged batteries and then someone who barely is charged. And a lot of people right now, they're feeling like the one that doesn't have any juice left in their energy source, and that can impact your energy. I wrote down a couple things. What's interesting and is I was talking to an HR person this past week as we do a lot of workshops for teams and businesses, and I donate my time to do that. And she said, Dr. Casen, it's like we're drinking from a fire hose. And I didn't really hear that. I haven't really heard that analogy, but she said, we're drinking from a fire hose at a rapid rate, and I can't take on any more projects right now. And she said, I know I feel like that, and my team feels like that. And some of you right now, you may feel frustrated and you can't take on one more thing. Something else to throw into the mix of all of this is we're about to be going back to school. So as you're watching me right now in your webinar, you might have kids upstairs, or maybe they're outside or someone's watching them, and then you have the laundry in, and then you're working on being focused for the webinar, and then your emails and texts are going off right now. Those are all sources of extra stress. So we want to work on helping your body best adapt to that. Now, you might be asking, well, what else can cause these imbalances? I was just talking about working remotely and what that looks like, but it also can be ergonomics, which is our posture. It's how we're sitting, driving, sleeping. Also, you think, what else can cause an imbalance? Stressful events. I know a lot of you right now, you could be working, maybe you're not working, maybe you have people in your life that they've lost their jobs, maybe they're trying to figure out new career paths. And even outside of this time frame right now, currently there are always different changes that can impact our body. I was working with another gentleman a couple weeks ago, and he was sharing with me the loss of a loved one. That's really impacted his body, his nervous system, and everything else that we're working on. So that can really be traumatic for someone's body, and it does take time to heal. Also, it could be right now that you're having poor nutrition, and there are foods that can impact your body and cause extra stress. For example, these little props here, these are donuts. Some of you might be eating too much processed food and maybe more sugar than normal, and that can also impact your stress as well as your environment. Your environment and where you're living, eating, breathing, that could also be an area of stress in your body. So in that, it all goes back to an area right now that we're really passionate as the Drugless Doctors of helping people with, and that's anxiety and depression. And over 6.8 million Americans over 18 have anxiety, and over 40 million adults. I know that that is dramatically increasing, especially right now. And you might say, well, what's the difference between anxiety and depression? And a lot of people are concerned right now. They're worried and they have anxiousness because of everything changing. And things are always changing. When members come into our office and we start talking to them about health goals, their anxiety, they might have an increased heart rate. They're talking really quickly. Maybe they're always anxious or nervous, and that could be for things that have happened or not happened. People who are depressed, typically they talk really slow, and it's difficult for them to get motivated. And how does this show up in your life? Some of you right now, because I know you're tuning in, you could have a mix of both, and you just have lost hope maybe in your own health, or you don't know what to do right now for your brain, your nervous system, your immune system. And there are things that you can do, which is exciting. And I'm really, really blessed because my father-in-law, Dr. Bob, who's been in practice for 42 years, he's written 11 books. And his 11th book was just released last month on a drugless approach to mental health. And it's all about supporting your brain and your nervous system naturally. And we do that through nutrition and chiropractic. And we don't treat anxiety and depression, but we do help people to support that throughout their life. So effects of depression. This is a big thing when it comes to stress right now. In this picture, I love this picture because some of you could be having difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, as well as headaches, lower energy, increased heart rate. Maybe you're having some heart challenges. In that also, when someone has stress in their body, commonly what we see in our practice, you could have high cholesterol or high blood pressure. These are markers that a lot of businesses, as well as your primary physician, if you're doing your annual blood tests, you should be getting that tested. What commonly is the missing link, though, is a lot of people aren't aware that you could be on the higher end or the lower end of normal, and you don't want to be high or low, you want to be middle range. And we help people also with that. And you could be having chronic pain in your body, constipation and diarrhea, inability to lose weight, which is really a common area for people, loss of libido, which that also goes into stress, and inflammation. It's all connected. So what do you want? I'm so excited you asked me that today. And I know you're looking for clarity, energy, excitement, purpose. I was doing an evaluation this morning and I walked into the appointment and this woman, she was just so excited. And she said, Dr. Casen, I'm so excited that in the last 3 months, I've been a part of your office. And I asked her, so what have you noticed? And she said, well, my energy's improved. And also, I just feel good. And I was sharing with her, isn't it great to feel good? When she first came in, she wanted to work on female hormones. She wanted to work on her mental health, her emotional health. And in the last 3 months, we've been working together on creating a specific plan. And those are some of the things that I would like to talk to you about today. So how do we get this on track? How do we work on adapting to stress, especially right now in this virtual world? And now more than ever, we're on computers, we're on our phones. You might be sitting for longer periods of time. Your whole environment is changing right now, and I want you today to work on focusing on one thing. So my whole goal for you today is to work on taking away one action item. And as we move forward, I want you to be thinking about what's the one thing that you're going to do today, and even within the next 24 to 48 hours, that you're going to start incorporating. Research shows that the thing that you start incorporating for an action item within the 48 hours of learning it, that's the thing that you're most excited about and motivated about. I know a lot of you could have lots of books at home, self-help books, books on how to lose weight, get healthy, and I know some of you have never opened up those books. So I want to simply share with you one goal today as we go forward, and I want you to start incorporating that within the next 48 hours. Can you do that? And I think that you can. So let's get started here. Your brain and your nervous system. Your brain and your nervous system controls everything. And I have a little prop here, if you can see it. This is your spine and your spinal cord. And what's really cool about your spinal cord is it's inside the spine. So a lot of you may not realize that your brain sits in the skull and it travels down as the spinal cord. And you have all of these delicate nerve fibers that come out all of these small holes here. Now, what's really amazing about the brain and the spinal cord is your nervous system is inside the spine, which controls everything. And when we're first born, that's the first time that our spine can go out of position. And then you think about running, jumping, playing sports. If you have kids, grandkids, you just watch them throughout the day, and that repetitive trauma on their spine can easily shift their spine out of position. Now, I want to share with you right now in your own body, take a little intake. And are you experiencing any discomfort? Do you have any numbness and tingling in your body right now? Are you experiencing difficulty sleeping, whether falling asleep, staying asleep? Do you have headaches? Are you angry all the time? Do you get agitated? These are all different body signals that your brain may not be communicating at 100%. Now, what's really interesting about your nerves in your body, only 10% of your nerves can feel pain, and 90% is for function. So what happens is when we have stress in our body and we're taking on different, whether it's different delegations, maybe it's more work, maybe you're trying to figure out right now your kids in school, and maybe you're taking care of your parents, your grandparents, all of these different things over time, what happens is they deplete minerals in your body. You having not enough minerals can cause a lot of other challenges, and it all goes back to the brain and the spinal cord. So you want to make sure that your spine is healthy as well as in the proper position, because if it's not, that's going to cause other challenges. Right now, especially when it comes to ergonomics, if your head is in this forward position, which a lot of people it is because we're fighting against gravity, we're continually working on fighting against gravity, that can impact your body throughout the day and cause extra stress. So one of your action items may be look at your setup. If you're working at home or if you're in an office, what I would encourage you to do is make sure that your screen is directly in front of you, and that's going to help you with a nice neck curve. Every inch forward your head goes is an extra bowling ball of pressure on your spinal cord, which can cause a lot of other challenges. Like I shared with you in the beginning of the webinar, clarity and focus and also mental health, it's all connected with the brain. So if you have that extra tension over time, it can lead to other challenges. So assess your desk setup. You don't want to look like the person on the first slide where you're really stuck forward and you could be sitting on a stool and not having that support. So as I'm working with our members in our office, I'm always asking them outside of our office, what's your desk setup? Where are you spending all your time? That's really important to take a snapshot picture of other things going on. And that leads me to talk about this, which is your brain has the ability to improve as you start working and tuning it up. So whether you're currently seeing a chiropractor or you're looking for another set of eyes on what's going on, you want to really have that spinal function and you want everything to be balanced. And how you find out that is you want to get some x-rays of your spine to evaluate what's the alignment, because a lot of kids may start to develop a curvature in their spine, and some of you may have that right now and you're not even aware of it, but it starts at a young age, whether it's from horseback riding, whether it's from cheerleading. I have a lot of golfers in our office right now, volleyball players. This can put a huge demand on your body, and it's all connected. If you look at that picture there, your nerves, they are going to every organ, tissue, and cell. And especially if you look at the neck right there, those nerves go to your lungs and your heart, which is really important for your immune system. So all of you right now, something you can do as you're watching me, work on bringing your shoulders back and work on having that good posture. You might want to consider even getting some resistance bands that you can start working on strength training your shoulders. Some of you might have resistance bands at home and they're in the basement or they're in the cupboard and you've had them for a long time, but you've never pulled them out. This is a great time, because if you're working at home, I want you to start incorporating breaks. When you get up and you go to the bathroom, work on stretching. If you're locked into your computer and you're working on your tasks, your projects, I have people right now, they're setting reminders to get up and move. I know some of you right now, you might have a little Fitbit or a watch or something that you keep track of your exercise, even your sleep, your heart rate. Put a reminder on there. Get up and move. This is one of the biggest areas I see right now that is a challenge for people is they're not getting up because they get locked into their position and they are working on all the things that they're working on, and then they forget to even stretch, and then they come into our office and their heads in this forward position, and it's like they're like this, and they say, "Oh, Dr. Casen, Dr. Bob, Dr. Anthony, Dr. Amy, I can't breathe." And then we start working on their spinal position and opening everything up, and it's amazing. Even you right now at home working on your posture and doing these shoulder rolls, you will be able to breathe better, which is very important for your brain, your nervous system, and everything working together. So I love stories. I love telling stories of people's transformation as they start working on things and incorporating things in their body. If you were to go to our website and look at our Google reviews on the Drugless Doctors, these are two ladies in our practice that their mental health and their emotional health has improved through chiropractic care, but also some simple tips in evaluating what else is going on. This woman here on the left, she said that a friend recommended our office to her, and she started reading one of Dr. Bob's books, which is Dr. Bob's Guide to Balancing Female Hormones. And if you're a female and you're watching me right now, that's a great resource for you, because stress can impact your hormonal system, which can cause a lot of other challenges. And if you're a male, it also can impact your prostate, kidney function. It impacts our bodies differently based on what's going on. But Dr. Bob also has his men's health book as a resource. And we love putting out free videos, webinars, articles. We have YouTube videos. I know Facebook. We are everywhere because we are here and on purpose to help make an impact in your life. So let's talk about things that we can do to decrease stress in our body. And with that, it's very important is to work on different things that you can do throughout the day, especially if you're working right now from home. And I want to talk to you about exercise. So your goal should be at least 20 minutes a day. Now, I know if you look at current research with exercise, saying 60 minutes a day, and that might be walking, biking. I have some people right now in our practice that they got the Peloton bike, or they're doing YouTube videos and they're doing dance videos. Whatever it is that you like and you enjoy, that's what I want you to start doing for your movement. Exercise is so important for your brain and your nervous system. And if you're sitting all throughout the day, that's the most amount of pressure on your brain and your spinal cord. And that brings me to something else. How are you sitting throughout the day? Some of you, you're sitting on one leg, or you're leaning to one side or the other. Check out how you're driving. When you're driving, do you lean to one side or the other? That will impact your spine. I've had multiple people. I think of one guy that comes to mind. He's in his 50s. He was having some shoulder challenges, and we started talking about how he was sitting throughout the day, and he's a golfer, so we're working on his function for golfing. And then we figured out, well, he's been leaning to one side when he's driving on the armrest there, and that was compromising the nerves in his neck, causing numbness and tingling. So when we evaluated that, his exercise improved and everything else improved as well. So think about, what do you like to do for exercise? I know I love to bike, and that's one of my favorite exercises to do, biking. It's the least amount of impact on your joints. I also have people in our office, if they're concerned with their joints and maybe walking causes challenges with them, they love swimming. So they've been swimming, especially right now, and they've really enjoyed that. The most important thing for you is consistency. And as I sit down with people and I talk to them about their health goals and what they want to work on, many people have the same common goals, and it is to increase exercise and movement in their life. I want you to put that on your schedule. What makes the most sense for you based on your current schedule for this week? Is it exercising in the morning? Is it at lunchtime? Can you bring your kids to exercise with you? Can you have someone watch your kids? What makes the most sense for you to get movement in your life and then start doing it? It's amazing how that can change everything. So with that, as we're going forward here, I have this little picture here. This is one of your action items. Choose what you like to do. You see some people on this lifting weights, could be playing soccer, could be dancing right now, listening to some music, going up and down stairs. It might mean parking farther away. I have a lot of people that as they're walking, they're parking farther away, taking the stairs versus the elevator. I have a lot of gardeners right now that are gardeners in our office. They're out there and they're working in their neighbor's yard. Swimming, which is also a great option and opportunity for you as well. Whatever it is, you want to start doing something, because that's a huge stress buster. And I know, based on current research and what I see in my own practice, many of you right now, you might be working really hard, but you're not taking time for yourself, which is why I'm here today, is to put you in the mix of it and to put you on your priority list. So then we're going to transition into something very, very important. We talk about the brain and the spinal cord. We're talking about your posture. I also want to talk about the fuel that you're putting in your rocket ship. Now, I showed you earlier some donuts. Some of you may have had one of these today, or you're passionately addicted to these. Now, I'm not saying you can never have a donut, but you do want to minimize foods that are going to cause extra stress in your body. Now, the best fuel to be putting into your body is going to be fresh, green leafy vegetables. These are awesome, especially right now. Check out what's in season. And I know locally here in Ohio, there are so many farmers markets. I know we've partnered with the Chef's Garden, and if you were to get online, go to our website, thedruglessdrs.com. We have a whole link on the Chef's Garden. They're a locally owned family, and they are beyond organic. They even filter the water, and these are Michelin star organic vegetables. But what I love about their vegetables is the nutrient content. You want to make sure that the food that you're eating has those essential vitamins, minerals, and also that it's organic. Whenever possible, you want to choose organic for you and your family. And the reason why is because if it's not organic, then these greens, they're sprayed with pesticides and chemicals. And what's really interesting about that is your body has to process these chemicals. So if you want to lose weight, increase energy, and also work on your mental health, start evaluating what you're putting into your body. In our practice in Westlake, we work on with people when they're looking to incorporate better foods. We do diet sheets. So people fill out 7 days of what they're eating: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, any beverages or liquids that they're putting into their body. I assure them, don't change anything you're doing. Just work on writing out 1 week of food. And some of you might already be doing this. You might be tracking your foods, whether you're working with someone or you're doing this on your own, and you're looking at your calorie counting, or maybe your carb counting, and you're counting all the sugar that you're putting into your body. What we're looking at is we're looking at patterns. We're looking at, are you eating enough proteins, vegetables, healthy fats? Are you eating the same foods all the time, which sometimes we get into this pattern of eating the same thing every day. That really can cause challenges with digestion. And I'm seeing a lot of people right now with food sensitivities and food allergies, where it may not necessarily be the food. It may mean that you need an enzyme to break down the food. So, for example, in our office, we did a food sensitivity evaluation with a woman, and she was having chronic bladder infections. And her top food stressor was coconut oil. Now, coconut oil is a great oil, but she was putting it on everything. We also had another person a couple weeks ago, their top food stressor was cinnamon. And she put cinnamon on it. She had cinnamon toothpaste. She loves cinnamon. She was addicted to cinnamon. And that can cause gut health challenges. And a lot of you could be having constipation, bloating, or digestive issues, and that could be a big stress to your body right now. Consider what you're putting into your body. Also, you want to be properly evaluated. I don't know if you've had any blood tests done recently, but we can see if you need enzymes or other things to help to support your body, because stress takes minerals out of your body. One of the easiest things that I love to incorporate, and you can do this very easily at home, is we use Celtic sea salt in our office. CELTIC, Celtic sea salt by Selena Naturally, SELINA Naturally. You can get that online. You can get it in our office. You can get it on our website. You can get it at Whole Foods, Heinen's, your local grocer. Now it's going to be more in the natural organic section. Look for the salts, but this is something that you can start incorporating as electrolytes in your body. Because if you're outside sweating and you're working out, and maybe you, like I was sharing with you, you have a lot of stress going on, your body's being depleted of minerals, and you might even have dizziness from a sit to a stand position, leg cramps, heart palpitations. These are all body signals of a need for minerals in your body. And I use this salt liberally, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I even put 1/4 of a teaspoon in my water for natural electrolytes. So that's also, when it comes to fuel, you could be eating proteins and vegetables, but you might be really deficient in minerals because of stress. So something really easy for you to incorporate. So this is my question to you. What is important to you? And what does it cost you and your family if you don't take care of yourself? Are you tired? Is it difficult? Do you have difficulty sleeping, falling asleep, staying asleep? Do you already know that your posture needs some work? What's important to you? What are your top 3 areas? And I even want to bring it to what are your top 2 areas that you want to work on? And then even what's the one thing you're going to do in the next 48 hours to start to improve your health? And we feel like we're puzzle solvers because it's collecting all the different pieces from even when you were a kid up until now. Now, I do know that our environment is a little bit different right now in this season. So if you weren't taking care of yourself before, now truly is the time to put yourself into one of those priorities and to create action with it. So rounding it up here before we start doing some questions, I want to let you know I'm here to see if we can help you. And we have a lot of different resources out there for you. I know that myself here, I'm in Westlake, Ohio here in our practice. Dr. Bob has a practice in Naples, Florida. We also have a global website, so we help people all over the world through chiropractic, nutrition, and something I didn't touch on in regards to women's health is we offer something called breast thermography, which is a different approach for ladies that's non-invasive for their breast health. But our true passion is to help people be happy and healthy and to really be a guide for them and a source that is able for them to trust. So I really appreciate you joining me today, and I look forward to making a difference in your life.
Thanks, Dr. Casen. I do have some questions here for you. The first question is, what's the first thing I should do when I sense myself starting to get stressed?
That is a great question. So when starting to feel stress, first of all, the most important thing is to identify when is that. So is it when you're working? Is it when you're, is it during, is it when you're going to bed at night? What's your trigger? So what's really interesting is in Dr. Bob's book, he talks and he has a whole chapter on this in regards to what is perceived stress and real stress. And that's something right now that's going on also is we have all these things in our brain and in our mind, and we are having stress, and these things may not have even occurred. So evaluate the things that are causing your stress, and then some of the things I was talking about today. Number one, I'm not sure if you're working with anyone right now to help to keep your body healthy, so you may want to consider that. Consider your food choices. What are you eating throughout the day? And then also, are you exercising? These are some simple things to look at when you're evaluating what else could be going on in your body.
Okay, great. The next question I have is, how can I help a coworker who's showing signs of stress?
That is great. Well, you tell your coworker you saw the most amazing webinar today, and he was talking about tips of how to decrease stress, and you thought that it would be great for her. And I think that you could share our information. And when helping people, that's always a delicate conversation, because you want to be a helper, but also you want them to want the help. So sometimes in our offices happens is moms, dads, parents, wives, husbands, they want to help everybody, and they're trying to, I don't want to say force, but they're highly encouraging them to get help, but they might not just be ready yet. So if your coworker is having some stress going on, I would encourage her and share with her a resource, even some things I shared with you today. And you can share our office. We have a lot of free information, but definitely being an encourager and a helper during this season of time, and also just loving on people too and being kind. I think that's a great start, and that's a great question.
That's all the questions we have, unless you have anything else you want to add. I think this brings us to the end of our webinar.
Excellent. Well, I really appreciate being a part of your webinar, and I hope that a lot of people can take away some really simple things from today, whether it's getting up and moving, evaluating their posture, looking at their food choices. Even this week, as you're going to the grocery store, I want you to think about Dr. Casen and what you're putting in your grocery cart or what you're having delivered to your home. Think about, is this building my body up? One quick story, I just had someone leave today, and she said, Dr. Casen, I'm still celebrating my birthday. And I looked at her chart, and her birthday was the first week of July. And I said, you're still celebrating your birthday? And she said, usually it's a 3 to 4 week kind of celebration, so I haven't really gotten back on track yet. So she's preparing to get back on track on Monday. So I pray all of you, whether you're watching right now or you're getting the replay, today's the day to get back on track and being mindful when you are going to the grocery store. And I want to encourage you with that it's not too late to make different choices for yourself. And I really look forward to helping and making a difference for you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Casen. Thank you for sharing so much great information and insight with us today. And thanks to all of you for participating in today's webinar. We hope that you found this webinar engaging and informative. And if you have any thoughts to share, please let us know. And for information about upcoming webinars, please visit gcpartnership.com/events. This concludes today's session. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.